Hello, good evening, everyone. We're so glad that you are here. Welcome to this sacred space. We are calling this this Sunday evening gathering a satsang. Let us tell you why. This is a word that means a sacred gathering. You see, well, there are a lot of things that are sacred, but no one normal can get near to those things. And we don't like this. And there are many things that are sacred that lack attention. Sacred things like the smallest flower growing by the side of the road, or the tiny little cornrow toes of a baby, a newborn baby. You see, there's so much that is sacred, and what is sacred does not need to be housed in a cathedral or a sanctuary. But you are the sanctuaries, my dear. It is you. You are the sanctuary. You are the place where God dwells, lives, moves, breathes. If you don't like the word God, we're okay with that. We understand it's a trite and worn phrase. Use whatever word you like. We are talking about the essence that is beyond description, and you are its house. And you are the sanctuary. And so we acknowledge this, and we began acknowledging it even before you came. When this gentleman and his wife began preparing this room, we asked them to put down red carpet, and the vessel said, ugh, red carpet, really? And we said, yes, because we are rolling out the red carpet for these beautiful ones that will come to this sanctuary, this song, this sacred space. And it is only sacred, my dear, not because of the carpet on the floor, but because of you and because of the love with which this space was prepared, you see. And so a satsang traditionally in the East was a word to describe these gatherings where people would come around enlightened ones, and they had this intuitive understanding from their culture that if they hung around an enlightened one, it was likely that some of that good stuff would rub off on them, you see. And so come, you enlightened ones. Yes, you are moving forward towards your own enlightenment. And really, moving forward is not quite the right word. It is more like this. You are beginning to wake up to the fact of your enlightenment, you being the sanctuary of something so beautiful and holy. And you are a specific designation, reflection, refraction of God that no one else can be. And so here we are in this sacred space, knowing that there are essences here which can rub off on us and lift us up and expand us and who we are. Now, there are physical bodies here. There are physical bodies in their living rooms watching. But what we want to open your eyes to is the reality that there are heavenly bodies such as ourselves that are here as well. You see, humans have a tragic flaw, and that is they do not believe in things they cannot see. And were it not for this odd manner in which we come through this vessel and speak, she would not believe our existence either. And there are times where she gets in her head and thinks, well, maybe I've just lost it and someone needs to check me in to the psych ward. But you see, the miracles are too definitive and too real And our presence is shot through with energy and life and goodness. And those that are in the room now can feel the power emanating. In case you haven't met us, our name is Judah. We are a fifth dimensional collective of angelic beings. There are about 350,000 angelic souls in this collective called Judah. But we don't choose to operate as individuals. You see, we move together in flow as one being, similar to if you've ever seen a swarm of birds in the sky. Maybe you've seen hundreds or thousands or more birds moving together as one. This is how we operate. We dwell primarily in the fifth dimension not because we could not expand further, but because we want to be here in order to connect with human beings and be of service. Be of service. In your awakening, in your transformation, in your transcendence, and remembering the beautiful soul that you are, the sanctuary that you are. And there are many ways that we can help you with this task. Keeping in mind, as the gentleman said, we are not here to tell you what to do or how to do it. We are only here as your cheerleaders and perhaps to shed light on something maybe that you haven't noticed or that you've overlooked or that you have forgotten. So take what you like and leave the rest. We are here in service to the Creator, the Creator's will, and here to help you to align with your purpose and the purpose of the Creator for you. Now, we are always with you. You possibly, being in this room, may already have connections with perhaps your guardian angel or a spirit guide. And we wholeheartedly support these relationships. And we hope that we might be your friend as well. And if you feel the need to be adopted by someone in a spiritual realm who will uplift you and support you and be there for your needs, we are happy to take you in. We do not lack for resources. We are completely sourced by source. And we have unlimited resources for whatever concerns you. And yes, that sounds audacious, but you see, we're not human. We are designed by the Creator, and we do not have limitations, and this is characteristic of what it means to be fifth dimensional being. We are not limited by space or time. Now, we have a few things we want to share before we begin taking your questions. And we want to say that your questions are sacred to us, for they represent what is most important to you, what is on your heart. And so when we listen to your questions, we hear them as prayers to source energy, and we respond accordingly. But before that, we want to talk a little bit about perspective and attention. Now, we told a story in this space a few weeks ago, and we need to tell it again. Are you okay with that? Oh, that was weak. Are you out there?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, there. Okay, thank you. So, there once were six blind men. They were friends, Every day they sat by the road and begged. And one day they heard a calamity and a crowd coming, and they said, "What's going on?" And someone said, "Oh, there's an elephant coming down the road. It's going to work in the forest nearby." And they had never seen an elephant, obviously, because they were blind. But they were excited about the prospect of experiencing this animal. And so as the animal approached, the 6 blind men moved forward to learn what an elephant was like. And the first grabbed hold of the tail and said, oh, I see. I know what an elephant is like. An elephant is like a rope. And the second blind man had a hold of the elephant's leg, and he said, "Oh no, what a fool you are. Of course it's not like a rope. It's like a tree. A tree." And the third blind man said, "Oh, so silly." The third blind man was feeling the side of the elephant. He said, "It's not like a rope or a tree. It's like a wall. And the fourth was feeling the elephant's large ear and said, "Oh no, dears, it's not like any of those things. It's like a fan. And the other said, no. He was feeling the trunk. He said, "Oh, no, it's like a snake." And the last blind man said, feeling the tusk, "Oh, no, it's hard and sharp. It must be like a spear." Now, we share this story to say that there's lots of, if you are tied into to some spiritual circles and media about these things, there's lots of talk of 3D and 4D and 5D and all this. Well, what world does it mean? Well, in the third dimension, in this story, for an example, they were all feeling, touching the same animal. But in the fourth dimension being the realm of thought and emotion, they were all having a completely different experience. Their thoughts about the elephant, their perspective was each very different, even though they were feeling the same animal. And as we've said before, this is why it's very important when you are interacting with each other, that we all take into account that being human beings, we do not have the eyes of God at all times. Some of you are beginning to see more and more and more with the eyes of God, but our sight is limited. Our perspective is limited, and we each see a little different part or perspective of the elephant, whatever the elephant might be, you see. And this is why it's very important not to take things personally or be too married to our opinions and our point of view. And this is a sure sign that our ego is taking hold when we are married to our point of view on a thing. And it will surely keep us from seeing with the eyes of God, seeing the whole elephant. Now, in the fifth dimension, we see the whole elephant, you see, as Judah and other fifth dimensional beings. 360 above, beneath, all around, we see the whole thing. And this is why we like to show up and give our messages. Because in the doing of it, we hope that you might see something you haven't seen before. And the Creator, not only can he see the whole elephant, but he can give his attention to all things at all times without feeling in the slightest bit overwhelmed. You see. So let's talk a moment about attention. Attention. What you give attention to will grow. It shapes who you are. It shapes your ability to be more than what you are in this moment. Let's say we're all walking down the street. Perhaps we're all walking down the street. And so we all feel the hot asphalt under our feet. We hear the sound of the traffic whizzing by. We see the traffic lights. We are all basically having the same 3D, third dimensional experience. Are you with me? But in the fourth dimension, everyone is experience. You see, if a pickpocket is walking along with us down the street, the only thing the pickpocket sees is the pockets of the people walking by. And if an architect is walking down the street, he sees the forms and shapes of the buildings. And if a policeman is walking down the street, perhaps he sees the shady character skulking down the alley. And so on, you see? So in your fourth dimensional experience, your experience is different from everyone else's. Always keep that in mind. Now, so how do we begin to grow spiritually and get free? Is we learn to release our roles: policeman, pickpocket, teacher, architect, whatever your role may be, yoga teacher, however you see the world, you begin to release that, let it go, and be an unattached observer. And then by so doing, you can begin to see the whole elephant, or at least more of it, you see. And so that means letting go of what we think we know to come to the place of, well, I don't know. I thought I knew what an elephant was, but maybe I don't know. And in this space of I don't know, the very essence of God can come in and something miraculous can happen. So what you give attention to will grow. What you resist will continue. It will persist on. And the problems that you give attention to will only expand. But if you withdraw your attention, you step back, you become, you allow your sight to be elevated. Look at the whole elephant. Zoom out a little bit. Be an unattached observer and watch and see what might happen without your interference. Because most problems and issues resolve themselves with some divine indifference. Okay, we have said enough for now. We would love to hear your questions.